On this episode of Beyond the Bounce, presented by ZTE, I sit down with Legends guard Toure Murry to discuss his upbringing, his early influences in the sport of basketball, and what he enjoys to do during his downtime off the court. All that and more on BTB. Thanks for joining us on Beyond the Bounce. My special guest here today, Legends point guard Toure Murry. Hey, welcome to the studio, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Now, we had a chance to catch up briefly before the show, but we want the audience to get to know you a little bit closer, understand your journey here, not just to the NBA and the NBA D-League, but overall as a basketball player. So take me back, life growing up here in Texas. What motivated you as a young man to really grab that basketball and give yourself a bright future in the sport?
Well, I'm originally from Houston, Texas. Come from a big family. You know, everybody plays basketball in my family. I have two older brothers, a sister, and, you know, basketball always just been, you know, heart and soul of our family. I mean, you know, my dad played, my mom played, so it was just bound for me to play basketball. You know, I was a young kid, you know, growing up, scrawny, and, you know, trying to stick up with my big brothers, and they really took it at me and made me grow up as a player. And ever since then, I always had that motivation and that enthusiasm to always make it to the top level. And, you know, I've been blessed to, you know, have 2 years under my belt in the NBA. And also, you know, Wichita State definitely, you know, gave me an opportunity to, you know, showcase my skills and get an opportunity to play and start as a freshman. And, you know, Greg Marshall really pushed me in that aspect. And, you know, I'm very blessed at this point.
Now, you mentioned it, you've got a large family. Your older brothers, I can only imagine what it's like in that household, being the younger brother, and you called yourself scrawny. But most in this industry consider you to be a big point guard. Would it be fair to assume that having those two older brothers push you, even though you may have been a little bit taller, you had to learn to handle the ball better than some just so you could keep up with those guys? And if so, you know, what lessons did you take from that, and how do you apply it today?
Well, I could always be able to handle the ball because I was so small, and the one thing you have to do to stay on the court is handle the ball as a point guard. And I think I never stopped working on my handles, and I never, you know, lost confidence in handling the ball, even though I was getting pushed over. I always was tough with the ball, and, you know, that just helps me to this day. You know, being taller, and, you know, you got little point guards trying to get up underneath you, and still able, you know, to handle them. So it definitely helped to this day, and I never forget. You know, me and my brothers used to play the line game outside in the streets, and basically we had to play defense to get across to another line. There's no basketball goal. It's just, you know, it was all about defensive skills and handling the ball, and that really helped me to this day.
Certainly that's one of your calling cards, is on the defensive end, being able to lock down your opponent. Who do you pattern your game after? As a young man today, but who did you look to as a role model at the NBA level?
I remember when Tracy McGrady was coming to Houston. I was really excited about him. You know, he was a big guard. You know, could handle it, could shoot it, could distribute, was a facilitator. He could do everything on the court. And just watching him, you know, do his thing on the court, and especially being Houston, where I'm from, you know, that's a guy that I really looked at and was like, okay, Tracy McGrady, I can be like that guy, you know, because I do so many things with the basketball. So I would have to say Tracy McGrady.
So you take those influences, your big brother, obviously your parents being athletes themselves, looking at a guy like Tracy McGrady, and you have yourself a heck of a high school career. Ultimately, you wind up at Wichita State. What was that process like? How was the journey and the transition from high school to college for you?
My freshman year, you know, I played JV. I was probably 5'4", 5'5", but I was a starter. And my team went 26-1. And I'll never forget, you know, that one loss when I didn't start, and I was so frustrated at my coach. But he taught me a lesson, because I think one game I didn't play defense, and he was like, all right, kid, if you already little, like, you got to play defense. That's one of the things you have to do. And, you know, I just stayed with the system. You know, my high school is one of the premier high schools in Houston, and, you know, we have a lot of Division I athletes that came out of Klein Forest. But I just stuck with it. And, you know, I always worked on my game. I always got better. And, you know, luckily I had two older brothers that came through Conforce also, so I had a little name on myself. But, you know, my senior year was rarely recruited. I maybe had one scholarship from Florida Atlantic. I'll never forget. You know, I used to talk to the coach all the time. And that's one of the schools that I considered going to just because they were the first school that, you know, that really looked at me. But Wichita State came in, you know, halfway through the season, and, you know, Greg Marshall really made an impression on me and my family, and ultimately that was the best decision for me as far as going in there and starting as a freshman. And, you know, I thank Greg Marshall for that.
So 5 years later, and about a whole foot from that JV season, you're standing 6'5". You know, you've become a shocker. Describe your overall college experience, your growth, not just as a player, but, you know, as a man. What things did you learn about yourself? What were you doing off the court to entertain yourself? And lead us into a little bit deeper the life of Toure Murry.
You know, first off, I want to say Wichita State was everything. You know, I grew up as a man, as a basketball player, as a role model for the kids that was watching me, and it was a place where I can, like, you know, be myself and
right.
actually make a name. You know, Toure Murry, actually that sticks in Wichita, and I think that was my whole goal in going to Wichita State because, you know, none of my friends were there. It was nobody that I really knew, and you know, the community great. You know, great basketball. We had no football team. So the only thing in the city was the basketball team. And every day I just stayed in the gym, you know, worked on my game, go to class, you know, try to do the right thing because, you know, all eyes was on me. And I knew, you know, as an athlete, you have to be a role model. And I really take that to heart. And I really try to be responsible in that situation. And, you know, it's funny, you know, after the Legends game, we're signing autographs for the kids. That's why I take it to heart because I know those kids really care. And I just want to tell them that I appreciate them for coming to the games because I know how it is as a fan. You know, that one thing that you do, you know, you can turn a fan off. So it's all about the fans with me. I just play for the fans and just give it my all and, you know, try to be that role model.
Now, let's do something for the fans right now that could be kind of fun. Fast forward to March. Where's your Wichita State team, and what advice do you have for Baker, Van Fleet, and the whole crew?
You know, I'm saying Final Four.
Okay, all right. You heard it here. Final Four.
We already showed that we can go to the Final Four. And, those guys are amazing. Van Fleet and Baker, you know, my goal is just tell them to just enjoy this year. You know, don't worry about the pros. You know, play for Marshall and only Marshall because at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to playing with your teammates. Don't look far ahead because the NBA, overseas, wherever they're going to play their professional ball, it's going to be there. You know, just make this year count and go out with a bang and, you know, try to break records. And, you know, Van Fleet already broke my assist record. That only stood for maybe.
You're not bitter, though.
Yeah, I'm not bitter. You know. Van Fleet, my guy, and Baker, you know, he's doing amazing. You know, I see him as a red shirt freshman. He got way better. And he's just playing unbelievable and just playing his confidence throughout the roof.
So they're heading to the Final Four, going to give them a shot at the national championship this year. You're supporting the guys the entire way. Now, you're going to be watching, naturally. Most all ball players spend time actually watching the game, especially the alma maters. But when you're not at practice, you're not working on your game, you're not watching basketball. Some players, it's reading, some it's board games, some like action sports. What things kind of motivate you off the court? What do you enjoy doing?
One of the things I enjoy doing is just, you know, really just watching TV shows. Anytime I can just watch a good movie and just try to get my mind off of basketball, whatever's bothering me that day, I'm cool with that. One of my all-time movies that I just like to watch and just laugh at is Hitch with Will Smith. I think that's a big one for me.
You got the Q-tip dance down?
Q-tip,
throw it away.
That's funny. But another one is Elf with Will Ferrell. I think that's hilarious. You know, it's Christmas time, so I always try to watch that movie around Christmas time.
Well, you can join my 3-year-old daughter watching Elf. She loves it as well. One thing we're going to do, we'll take you back to your childhood as well. When we return after break, Toure is going to play a little small ball with me. He doesn't know what it means, but he'll find out soon enough. All that and more here on Beyond the Bounce.
There's a new smartphone crashing the holiday party this year. The Axon by ZTE. Bold and sleek, in colors perfect for the season, with plenty of surprises wrapped up inside, like 32-bit hi-fi audio, vivid 4K ultra-high-def video, and a dual-lens autofocus camera. So why hang with the usual smartphone crowd this party season? Meet a fresh new face. The Axon by ZTE. Get it at ZTEUSA.com and save up to $100.
Sweet.
Welcome back to BTB. It's that time. Small ball, 24 seconds on the clock. Toure, the game is simple. All you've got to do is make 4 free throws to tie the record currently held by your teammate Sharon Collins. 5, and you stand alone as the small ball champion, of BTB. Okay. I think the current small ball champion, I guess, would be the Golden State Warriors, if that's what they want to call themselves. So we got 24 seconds up on the clock. Toure, it's on you. Your goal is 5. Ready, set, shoot. Front rim.
Oh,
I warned you about those rebounds.
4?
Four's to tie it. I thought you were a champion. I thought you were going for 5. There's one. There's one. You're halfway done. 12 seconds to go. Gotta move. You're known for your quick hands, but you're a little sluggish today. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We're gonna end with 2. That's it. That's it.
That's terrible.
Look, consider it a standing invitation to come back here in a month or so. I'll give you another shot. You want to go out to whatever store, grab you one of the small ball little contraptions so you can practice at home in the apartment. Feel free. But 2, come on, man.
2 is terrible. I thought I was going to break the record. I'm known for breaking records. I'll do better next time.
Sounds great. Now, before we get out of here, I want to take a quick selfie. We're going to send that out via Twitter to all your fans and then give them a chance to kind of follow back with some questions that we can broadcast for the next episode.
Okay.
There it is. Toure, thanks for joining me here on BTB. Great luck this year. You guys are going to have a tremendous season. I know you will. And you'll be back in the NBA soon enough.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.